Ambassador Kex Thul of the Galactic Security Council had believed he understood human psychology after 3 years of diplomatic relations. The species seemed reasonable, cooperative, and refreshingly predictable compared to other Deathworlders. His assessment would prove catastrophically wrong within the span of 4 human words. The incident began during a routine inspection of the Joint Research Station orbiting Kepler 438b. The facility housed the galaxy's most advanced quantum physics laboratory, where scientists from 12 different species collaborated on projects involving antimatter containment, artificial black hole generation, and dimensional membrane manipulation. Dr. Jake Morrison, the human team leader, stood with his colleagues in the observation deck overlooking the primary experimental chamber. Inside the reinforced containment field, a prototype quantum tunneling device hummed with barely contained energy equivalent to a small star's core temperature. The Zephyrian delegation believes the tunneling experiment is too dangerous, reported Dr. Velnara, her crystalline form refracting the chamber's harsh lighting. They're requesting we postpone the test until additional safety protocols can be implemented. The device had taken 4 years to construct and represented a breakthrough in faster-than-light travel technology. However, the quantum calculation suggested a 0.003% probability of creating an uncontrolled dimensional rift that could theoretically consume the entire star system. Morrison examined the readouts while sipping from a bottle of Earth-manufactured ethyl alcohol, a substance most species considered mildly toxic. The quantum field generators were operating within acceptable parameters, the containment protocols were functioning perfectly, and the backup safety systems had been tested extensively. "The math checks out," Morrison said, reviewing the probability matrices one final time. "Besides, 0.003% is practically guaranteed success by human standards." Dr. Velnara's optical sensors dimmed with concern. "Perhaps we should wait for the additional safety measures the Zephyrians recommended. The potential consequences of miscalculation are significant." Morrison handed his beverage to the nearest colleague, a gesture that would later trigger galaxy-wide military alerts, and spoke 4 words that would redefine interstellar threat assessment protocols. "Hold my beer, Vel." Ambassador Kex Thul, monitoring the proceedings from the diplomatic observation platform, watched Morrison stride toward the experimental controls with casual confidence that defied rational risk assessment. The human began overriding safety interlocks, bypassing automated shutdown procedures, and manually adjusting quantum field parameters. "Dr. Morrison," Dr. Velnara transmitted through the communication system, "what are you doing?" "Fixing the calibration," Morrison replied, his hands dancing across holographic interfaces with disturbing familiarity. "The Zephyrians are worried about dimensional stability, but they're calculating based on their own physics models. Humans have been accidentally tearing holes in space-time since we figured out nuclear fission." Kex Thul activated his emergency communication array, transmitting priority alerts to the Security Council. Morrison's casual reference to accidentally tearing holes in space-time suggested capabilities that hadn't appeared in any intelligence reports. Within the containment chamber, Morrison made adjustments that should have required consultation with 17 different scientific committees. He was treating universe-threatening technology like a malfunctioning household appliance, applying what he called percussive maintenance to quantum field generators worth more than most planetary defense budgets. "Jake," called Dr. Saratchin from the observation deck, "maybe we should run additional simulations first?" "Simulations are for people who don't understand the equipment," Morrison responded, initiating startup sequences that set energy readings off the measurement scales. "Besides, worst-case scenario, we accidentally discover something interesting." The phrase, "worst-case scenario," in human context apparently included the potential destruction of solar systems, treated as an acceptable risk for scientific curiosity. Ambassador Kexthal watched the quantum tunneling device achieve full operational status under Morrison's manual control. The energy reading stabilized at levels that theoretical physics insisted were impossible to maintain without automated precision systems. The device worked perfectly. Morrison had bypassed 47 safety protocols, ignored probability calculations from 12 species' finest mathematicians, and manually calibrated equipment that required quantum computer precision, all while consuming ethyl alcohol and treating the experiment like a recreational activity. "Tunnel established," Morrison announced casually. "Ready for test transmission whenever you are." As Kexthal filed his incident report, he realized that human confidence wasn't based on careful risk assessment. It was based on treating impossible odds as routine challenges. The phrase, "hold my beer," had become shorthand for humans temporarily setting aside their inhibitions while attempting feats that defied galactic safety standards. The Security Council's response was immediate and unanimous. Humanity's threat classification was upgraded to maximum concern, not because they were aggressive, but because they considered universal annihilation an acceptable risk for scientific advancement. The most terrifying species in the galaxy were the ones who saw catastrophic failure as merely another learning opportunity.